Welcome to this recap of the CDMP meeting on membership and proposed amendments to the membership law at the Golden Age Club, which is just behind us there. Joining us, of course, as usual, is Joe Delarone, political press attaché and a member of the commission. Welcome, Joe.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gene.
Tell us about the meeting. I know it was actually went a little bit longer than usual. Let's start off with what was the mood like?
The mood was actually pretty good. I mean, the fact that it was a long meeting, it was a difficult meeting, didn't mean that people were in a bad mood per se, but I think now it was clear that the group was becoming frustrated. Like, let's get to some sort of resolution here and move forward, because after 4 meetings, a lot of the same arguments started to come forth, and it became very obvious. So people were now saying, like, let's go. We got lots to do, so let's move on.
All right. So just to reiterate, that's it was the 5th meeting where you were trying to tackle the great-grandparent issue.
Yeah, the great-grandparent. That's right.
The definition of great-grandparent. It at the previous meeting, a Mohawk word, Ganyageho word, was proposed. I don't want to try and make you pronounce it, but there was also some issue with that last night.
Yeah. So what they did was actually. It was deemed to be, I guess, grammatically not correct. So a new word was brought in, Sadayondaguasio, which basically still means the same thing, but it's more proper in Ganyageha to use that term. And I won't get into all the technicalities. Those who speak the language know what I mean by it, but that's the word that was used. The problem still was defining that word. And you know, the 2003 law was left vague for a reason, because the Council of Elders could then make a determination, based on discretion. But unfortunately, the Council of Elders no longer exists. The old law used blood quantum, which always seemed to be problematic. That was removed in the 2003 law that is currently being amended. So it was difficult, but there was some movement there to accept at least that definition to try and move it forward. The real concern, or the real issue, was some people really wanted to be hardline about it and keep it at 50%. And a question was actually asked by the facilitator to say, look, do you want to just use the 50% blood quantum or no? And only 2 persons raised their hands, so obviously they didn't want to do that. But the question still keeps coming back. So they looked at something that's a little less, direct as 50%. But one of the participants suggested, in terms of trying to reach some sort of consensus, that he was willing to accept 47%, because there are a lot of people who are kind of in that area. So when he said that, what was interesting was all the hands raised up. So that showed that there was a consensus there, at least, to move forward, and that there still needs to be work done on this definition, but at least we have a sense of where we're going, and the 50% blood quantum one is put to rest.
Okay. Speaking of moving forward, there's going to be another meeting before the summer break?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it's going to be a quick one. So it'll be next week, which is the 14th of June, next Tuesday, once again at the Golden Age Club. And we're going to pick up right where we left off. And I guess it's kind of good that it's going to happen so soon. So I imagine most of the same people will be there, and hopefully quite a few others. We're really hoping that some Ganyageha speakers are there, because when you look at what the law is supposed to be and what it's supposed to mean, the terminology in Ganyageha is a little more, I don't want to say welcoming, but it's not so black and white as 50%. Even when you say, mixed of 2 cultures in approximately half, that doesn't say 50%, so it left some room for interpretation in the past, and I think that's what people did want to see.
Okay, so all those discussions that happened last night, that does not mean that 47% is now the law.
No, it doesn't. But, like I said, the community was leaning there. But let's see what happens in the next one. Hopefully it will be finalized. And at that point, they can get on to the other agenda items, section 15 through 18. It is possible, but at this point, we'll wait for that meeting to happen.
All right. Thank you, Joe. That meeting takes place next Tuesday, June 14th. Right here at the Golden Age Club, beginning at 6:30 p.m. 6 p.m. and goes till 8:30, and probably shouldn't need to go over it, I don't think, right? Thanks, Joe.